Okay, gather around, children, and I'm going to tell you how all of this ties together. And we're talking about how the story of Jesus is the story of the sun, is the story of your Kundalini awakening, is the number 9, is the story of Santa Claus. And for 99% of you, it's just going to go right over your head. You're not going to comprehend what I'm saying. But that is why in the Gospel of Thomas, it is said that he will choose 1 out of every 1,000 and 2 out of every 10,000. But this is also what separates the 1% from the 99%. It's not money, even though most of you think it is. It's knowledge, because all of these secret societies, every single one of them are descendants from the Egyptian school of mystery. And despite what you think, thought, thoth, this is not up for debate. This is the truth. If you don't like it and you don't receive it, that is not my problem. The reason I am giving this information is because personally, I think information should be free, especially information of this caliber. No matter what anyone chooses to call me, I will never be called a gatekeeper. I also highly suggest that you don't just listen to me, that you go out and you do your own research. Now let's get it started and ha! So I would say that most people know the story of Jesus. Did you know that on December the 21st, the sun goes through a constellation called Crux, also known as Cross, where it is crucified, where the sun dies. Now, December 21st is the shortest and the darkest day of the year. The sun has died. Now, for the next 3 days, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, this is what's known as the winter solstice. And the sun is dead and in the tomb until December 25th. Christmas, where the sun begins its upward trajectory. Now this does have a double meaning because it represents the Jesus coming out of the tomb, but it also represents Jesus being born, because these things are never just one thing, they're always multi-layered. So 30 days after December 25th, the sun is in Aquarius. 30 years after Jesus is born, he enters into the river and gets baptized by John the Baptist. John the Baptist is the man of the water. Aquarius is the water bearer. After Jesus/the sun gets baptized, it moves on through Pisces, doing all of the spiritual work, and then it gets to Aries, where it becomes the offering to God, the sacrifice. The ancients called it the Ram of God, come to take away the cold of the winter. Christians later changed that to the Lamb of God, come to take away the sins of the world. Easter and Christmas are so double layered it's not even funny. Because while I said that the sun traveling through Pisces after Aquarius represents the spiritual work between the baptism and the crucifixion, it also represents the time after the resurrection, all the way up to that Aries ascension, when Jesus ascended to the heavens. Okay, Santa Claus. There is a part of the brain called the Santa Claustrum. On the day that the moon goes into your sun sign, the Santa Claustrum will release a drop of fluid that goes all the way down your spine and sits at the very bottom, at the fusion of 5 vertebrae called the stone. This is why in the story of Jacob, he laid his head on a stone. So from the Santa Claustrum, the Santa Claus goes down your chimney, chi in me, all the way down to the bottom. And if you follow the exact steps that come from observing the story of Jesus and watching the sun move through the zodiac, you will activate the right hemisphere of your brain. This is why Jesus said, cast your net to the right side. This is why when the sun is in Leo and it is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, it sits in the eastern sky, the right side. Everything right, nothing left. Shout out to my man 777 Troop. Because on the day that the moon goes into your sun sign, that drop of fluid goes down and you have to raise it all 33 levels of vertebrae. This is why Jesus died at 33, because at the top of the 33rd vertebrae, there's a nerve junction. There's 2 nerves that come together, making the shape of a cross. You have to raise the Christos, Christ oil. Oil is an anagram for Leo. Leo is the sun. You have to raise this oil, all 33 levels of vertebrae, let it get crucified on the cross, where it'll go to the pituitary gland, which represents the feminine, and it secretes milk. And also the pineal gland. The pineal represents the masculine, and it secretes honey. The land of milk and honey. This is the promised land, spoken about in the Old Testament. The Israelites had to wander around in the desert for 40 years before they could go to the promised land. Why? Because in order for this to work, you have to be in at least a 4-day fast. Start fasting a day or so before the moon goes into your sun sign, and when it leaves, you have been there for 4 days, and 40 is just 4, because 4 plus 0 is 4, and everything's just numerology and astrology. We're still not done. It goes deeper. The sun's name is Sol. It is the solar system. You have a solar plexus. How important is the solar plexus? The solar plexus is you, essentially. You are a sun. You are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. Guess what? So are the stars. But as above, so below. The stars are you and you are them. This also works directly in you. The sun is the dividing line. As above, so below. So be Leo. Leo is the sun. Leo is ego. Guess what else is ego? The number 9. Number 9 represents human consciousness. It represents earth. It represents you. The word Adam equals 9 in Hebrew. It says I will, I do, I speak, I see. It is the knowledge that you yourself exist. Anything below the solar plexus. This is 666. This is beast consciousness. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. But if you raise the chrism oil up shoot it up to the pineal and pituitary gland. Well, that's 144,000. Multiply the number of petals on the Hindu chakra system by 1,000, you get 144,000. This is the 144,000 saved souls. And this only happens if you raise the Christos oil all the way up to your brain, get it all completed, and activate the right hemisphere of your brain. And this is Christ consciousness. There is no other way. There is only this one. If you give in to lust, if you give in to the food need, consume processed sugar, speak ill of your brother, the Santa Claustrum, the Santa Claus, is not going to give you gifts. He's going to give you cold. Because the Santa Claustrum will secrete this stuff called neuromelanin. It's like little black particles that go into your bloodstream, causing you to age, causing you to have chronic illness. If you've been naughty, you get cold. But if you're good and you do all of this stuff and you follow all of the steps, then your spinal fluid gets regenerated. You basically get all new spinal fluid. Your blood cells get regenerated. You get all new blood. Dead and dormant brain cells become reactivated. The right hemisphere of your brain becomes activated for the first time in your life. You grew up thinking that you were either right-brained or left-brained. No, everyone was left-brained. You have to activate the right hemisphere. You're not born with that. And this is why by raising the oil, achieving your Christ consciousness, following all the steps, Jesus will sit at the right hand of the Father. The Son will sit in the eastern sky. You'll be at a frequency of 144,000. You will have enlightenment. No, you're not gonna levitate off the ground. That's not what any of this means. But if you do it, you'll know. So give it a shot. Here's the steps. 1. Know what your sun sign is. Most people do. If you call yourself a Cancer, then you're a sun sign Cancer. That's basically people born between June 20th and fucking July 20th. Most people know their sign. So whatever you consider your sign, that's your sun sign. Know where the moon is, know where it's going. Between full moons, the moon will travel through all zodiacs, all 12. When the moon goes into your sun sign, the process has started, but you want to know when it's gonna go in there so you can begin your fast minimum 1 to 2 days before. But what kind of fast? Only consume mineral water. If you must drink coffee, cool, make it out of mineral water. No processed sugars, no animal products, so no cream, no milk. The only thing I can suggest is coconut milk. It's the healthiest option you got. If you need a sweetener, use honey, use stevia. When it comes to food, no animal products, no processed sugar. Only vegan product. But seriously, you don't want to do anything other than like berries and nuts. Keep it simple. No leafy greens and no animal products. No cigarettes or anything like that. No alcohol. No nutting. You cannot expel any type of sexual energy, men and women both. You have to give up the things of the flesh, the thing that the carnal mind wants, that 666, that beast consciousness. You have to give all of that up. Everyone has to carry their cross. Stay in a positive, meditative mindset. Meditate heavy. Is it easy? No. But nothing worth having ever is. I just got done with mine. And for those of you who ask how long does it take, it's only this 4-day process. Once the moon has gone into the next sign and it has left your sun sign, your fast is over. Grab you a cheeseburger and enjoy yourself. You did good, kid. My fast actually ended yesterday. Today is the sun sign Cancer's day. And guess what? Today, I will be having me a big ass juicy cheeseburger because I earned it. If you stuck around this long, look, if you want a no nonsense, down to earth reading and you want to know what your sun sign is, your moon sign is, if you want to know what your Mercury, Venus, and Mars and all your planetaries are, click the link in my bio. Either choose the Gospel of You reading or the Bible of You reading. We're giving the divinity back to you. Both of those contain astrology. The Gospel is more for beginners. The Bible is more for the advanced. Use the promo code Jupiter and get 20% off of those readings all the way up until December 2nd. Catch y'all in the next video.